Leonidas drops the stun and drops the full ult. Oh my goodness, look at the health bars. It's a quad kill.
Should find the kill. Lunara will clean up that fight. Oh my god, I can't believe it. It is going to be Soul Shield. You gotta be kidding me.
Raw to take the 3v1, gets one, looking for the second. Crispy is popping off.
Looks like that Blizzard may connect with 4 people.
Oh, Lady Ronin! Oh my goodness, what a chat!
That was really good.
Hello and welcome back to the Nexus Gaming Series. I am the Crushinator, and tonight I am bringing you some Amateur Division D East action between Regen Nebula and Clouded Minds Beyond. Hope you're all having an excellent evening. I'm glad to be able to get back to my roots, get some excellent community games. Right now we're sitting at 9 out of 10 players in our lobby, CM Beyond waiting on their 10th player to arrive, which hopefully shouldn't be too much longer. But in the meantime, let's head over to the map screen. See what these teams have chosen for us today. Regen Nebula banning away Dragonshire and Braxis Holdout. Clouded Minds Beyond have removed Towers of Doom and Cursed Hollow. They're choosing to bring us to Sky Temple for map number 1. Sky Temple, a map that is often avoided, often banned in the opening rounds because teams tend to not favor a lot of practice on this map. It's one that requires a lot of custom shot calling, a lot of custom ideas, and if you can master this map and you can bust it out, you can possibly force out some map bans, force out some wins. So we'll see if Clouded Minds Beyond has what it takes to win here on Sky Temple. It looks like our 10th player is here. Let's bring it on back to me for a moment. And we shall hang out. Uh-oh. The cat cam isn't on. Wait, it is on. I just need the light. Get the light. There we go. Yes, high definition cat. Last Malk here, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the show. Welcome, welcome, fellow caster. Alright, looks like our teams are all set. Let's jump into the draft. Gotta have the high definition cat. It's important. The lighting isn't just right. You only see a fuzzy fuzzball instead of a very sharp and crisp fuzzball in the cat bed. So we are opening up here on Sky Temple. Things that are important on Sky Temple: boss control, global presence, dueling are the three main phrases that come to mind for me. At Sky Temple, there tend to be a lot of divided fights. There tend to be a lot of divided objectives. So you've got to think about, what does our team look like when we're not S5? And if you're not going to be S5, maybe you could use globals to close that gap. So we'll see what sort of priorities these teams have as Regen Nebula pondering their first ban here. Now, one thing to note, we are pretty far along in the NGS season here, so these teams have quite a bit of data on each other. We might see some target bans, we might see some priorities outside of the general meta. So we're going to start things off with a Rhaegar ban coming out from Regen Nebula. Not interested in picking that up themselves, just want to go ahead and take that off the board here. While I've got a moment, let's make sure I've got all the correct players. I believe I do. Got Arco, we got Maxzilla, Mischief, Rackham, Froggart. There we go. As we see Johanna banned away by CM Beyond. Pretty standard stuff there. Murda, Karama, Sheeves, Stixa. Yotaru is in today. Excellent. Excellent. We've got all the correct players. Gotta love to see it. One hero that can come out on Sky Temple, I'm not sure if it's in the wheelhouse of either of these teams, as it's not in the wheelhouse of a lot of teams, is Abathur. Abathur's Mule has a very, very large impact on how effective the objective can be. Because the objective tends to leave a lot of structures at partial health, and if the Mule is just slowly healing that over time, you're essentially undoing the enemy's objective. Now, will we see it? I'm gonna lean towards no. but if someone's got that in the tank, this is definitely the map for it. We're going to see Anduin followed by Li Ming bans here from our two teams. So no globals banned away at the top. We'll see if any are prioritized before the mid bans here, as Regen Nebula is going to have the first pick opportunity. A lot of strong healers on the board, a lot of strong offlaners on the board, as well as some choice damage dealers. I'm going to start things off with the Stukov, though. Kurama locking that in here for Regen Nebula. Stukov has sort of fallen from the automatic first pick spot that he used to enjoy. There's a lot of really effective healers right now. I mean, Rhaegar, some could argue, is at the top of the piles, catching a lot of bans. But Brightwing is good, Anduin is good. Even Deckard has his place. We are going to see that Brightwing coming on here for Rackham, and Mischief is going for the Sylvanas. Sieging, an important part of strategy here on Sky Temple, and Sylvanas absolutely enables that sort of setup. One thing that Regen Nebula is going to have to watch out for, they're going to have the opportunity to pick around it and play in the mid bans. Sylvanas Greymane, even getting an Anub'arak on top of that, can be a pretty deadly combo. They are going to take away the Greymane here. Sheeves is going for that pick, and Yotaru is going to take the counter global of the Dahaka here for Regen Nebula. So we've got parity in the globals. Falstad is still on the table here. Could still fit either team's comp if they do want to pick it up. Falstad, one of the sort of dual useful heroes on Sky Temple with boss control and a global. CM Beyond is going to remove the Murden, though, here. Murden, just a kind of an all-around good tank at the moment. Does a lot of things well. Regen Nebula looking at the Sylvanas Brightwing. We'll see if they want to counter with their own tank ban or if they've got something else in mind. Still a lot of great offlaners. We'll see what they've scouted out here. Hogger and Blaze still available. Gazlowe going to be the ban here. I'll tell you, when I played a lot in Division D, Division C, even, you know, in Storm League and stuff like that, I don't see it so much these days. But Gazlowe just getting those gravel bombs off in fights was super, super impactful. So not too surprised to see a team not want to deal with the Gazlord. We are going to see that Falstad picked up by Maxilla, and Arco is going for the Varian here. It could be an offlane variant. I'm guessing it's going to be a taunt variant tank. Rotations here on Sky Temple. There's a lot of opportunities. There's room between lanes. Like I was saying earlier, there's a lot of skirmishes, less than 5v5s. So Varian could definitely roam around and make things difficult here for Regen Nebula. See what the last two picks are going to be here. Murda's going to go for the ETC, and Styx are going to round things out with Lunara. Lunara Greymane, pretty good sieging combo if we do see the PvE... it's not Splintered Spear, it's... gosh, I should know this. It's not Unfair Advantage. It's the 1-on-4, where Lunara does a lot of extra damage to structures and minions. I'm guessing that's what we're going to see here, as we see Frogurt go with the Ragnaros last pick. Very strong anti-siege in Ragnaros. Decent enough wave clear, and if we do get the Lava Wave at level 10, could undo a lot of the progress that Regen Nebula works for in these lanes. Looks like everyone's happy with their choices. Fantastic. Then we can start up the prediction. Set the mouse there. Awesome. Good, good stuff. All right, we're setting up here for game number 1. The prediction is online. Go ahead and bet those bananas now. Who's going to pick up the win here? Is it Regen Nebula or is it Clouded Minds Beyond? I like the two comps. They both, they both have a pretty clear game plan on what they want to do. They've got particular advantages on both sides. I think it's going to come down to execution. It's going to come down to decision making here. Very excited to see this one. So let's load on in and get into it. Alrighty. It is game number 1 here. On the left in the blue, we have Regen Nebula. Murda is on ETC, Stixa on the Lunara, Yotaru playing Dahaka, the Sheaves on the Greymane, and Kurama is on the Stukov. On the right in the red, we have Clouded Minds Beyond, Frogert on the Ragnaros, Mischief on the Sylvanas, Rackham on Brightwing, Arco on the Varian, and Maxzilla on the Falstad. I am a little bit worried at the frame rate that I'm getting right now. Hopefully that stays somewhat steady. But things aren't looking good. Gosh, I wish I knew why. I really do. Why it's good on some nights and not good on others. But we will soldier through. We're going to hope that everything is at least somewhat watchable here. Let's see if we can back the camera out. Maybe that'll help out. Arco going to get focused on here in the mid lane. Varian, a little bit weak in the early going. Gets targeted, but is able to move on back here. Gosh, that looks terrible. I'm sorry, folks. I'm really not sure what causes this issue. Sometimes it's fine as, oh, Murda could be in a little bit of trouble. Goes to interrupt that rotation, but is polymorphed and taken down. First blood of the game goes over to CM Beyond. Boy, this is really annoying. Is it Spectrum? It's not an internet issue. Ever since I reset my computer, like my stream is 100% fine. I'm not dropping frames. It's literally what's showing on my screen. I don't understand it. I really don't. Like it's somehow it is a hardware issue, and I don't know what it is. But we will soldier on as we see the bottom camps picked up by both teams. Murda gonna look forward here, looking for a slide, is gonna land there onto Varian. Arco gonna get silenced and knocked back here. There's the damage follow-up, but Arco, once again, able to walk away. Murda took a little bit of damage, but got out just fine as well. Oh, Dahaka actually going down to Ragnaros up here in the top lane. Frogert with the 1v1 kill. Picks the second kill on the board here for CM Beyond. So a little bit of a level lead off of that now. We see Ragnaros alone in the top lane. Lunara's going to have to come on up here to try to catch that experience. We see CM Beyond going to work on their back bruiser camp here. Get that up and running. We see Kurama on the left doing the same thing here for Regen Nebula. Is Murda going to catch Maxzilla down in the bottom lane, but right now both teams just trying to get their experience online and get prepared for our first set of temples, which as always are going to be in the mid and the top lane. CM Beyond managing to pick theirs up first, which should give them a little bit of lane priority as we go into our first temple phase. Varian taking the vision on this top side. Looks like Regen Nebula is going to come on up here to try to deal with the camp. Temples are activating in just a moment. There is the taunt coming out onto the Greymane, followed up by the Polymorph. Greymane is able to start to move away there and gets behind the gate with about 200 health. Murda going to slide on in and try to isolate Mischief. Stixa following up there, but is starting to move away. CM Beyond doing a great job of staying healthy inside that spell armor field. Dahaka still doing a little bit of double soaking, did not come up for that latest scrap. So catching up a little bit on the experience advantage that CM Beyond had, and now they're pushing against this wall. Arco actually taking a couple of shots there. Murda on the edge, could be looking for a slide here. Rackham with a very nice polymorph, as now we're going to have a full-on brawl up here in the top lane. Maxzilla is being isolated on the low side. Greymane jumps on in, and Falstad with nowhere to go is going to fall. Great job by Dahaka getting the drag onto Ragnaros, and that is a second kill coming on out for Regen Nebula. They're going to wrestle the last few shots of this top temple, about half of these shots remaining. Meanwhile, the rest of CM Beyond are going to try to get a couple of shots in the mid before Murda and crew come on through. Definitely catching up on experience now as Regen Nebula picking up those 2 kills, puts them slightly ahead on the path to level 10 here. Dahaka on the top side, finishing up that temple. Mid-temple is going to be finished up by the rest of Regen Nebula here. Mischief. Sheeves and Murda were thinking about it. There's the taunt coming out from Arco. Nice polymorph to follow up, but no damage in range. Means Lunara gets to walk away. See Falstad here on the bottom camp, getting that going here for CM Beyond. Regen Nebula on the left, gonna start theirs up at the same time here. So decent macro sense coming out from our two teams, making sure the camps are rolling, making sure the lanes are taken care of. We are gonna have our next, I believe it's a solo bottom lane altar phase, should be coming up next here. We'll see if any fights break out before that level 10 mark or before the next temple spawn. See Styx a grab in the mid here. Regen Nebula. Oh, Lunara is going to spot the rotation, but will be taunted nonetheless. Mischief not able to get into range to follow up, though. Falstad was coming up as well. See, Dahaka has been pushing well into Ragnaros up here as Regen Nebula finds their 10s. Murda wants a fight. Murda wants to slide on through. Rackham is going to get caught there. Nice bump back. Curse Bullet does connect. Brightwing trying to move away. Doesn't have the blink heal just yet, and that's going to be Brightwing going down. Great job by Regen Nebula recognizing their level 10 advantage and grabbing that kill. Looking at those level 10s, we do have the Isolation, Cursed Bullet, Leaping Strike, Flailing Swipes, and ETC still thinking about it, whether it's going to be the Mosh or the Stage Dive. CM Beyond does manage to find their level 10s. We're going to see the Juggernaut? Warbringer coming on out from Varian there for the reduced cooldown on the charge. Lava Wave is the choice for Ragnaros as we see that pushing through the mid here. Blink Heal, Mind Control, and Mighty Gust. As both teams... Oh, nice job by Styx scouting that. As it looked like both teams didn't quite know where the other one was. Murda gonna slide on through here, still holding that heroic. Rackham in some trouble, but a great taunt from Arco. Can Rackham get away here? Mind Control comes on out. Lunara trying to chase down for that extra damage. Big Gust from Maxilla. And Lunara is actually gonna be the one to go down here. CM Beyond, fading away, managed to pick up that kill. It is ultimately going to be the mosh pit here for Murda on the ETC. As Arco and crew going to step up here with their player advantage, get a little bit done on the bottom lane. Yotaro and Murda on the edge. This is still a 4v3. Here comes the mosh pit, lands onto one. That's going to be Sylvanas going down. Great flank coming on through there. Frogurt going to come and try to shore up the defense for CM Beyond. With Lunara on the way, CM Beyond is going to have to back off here. Bottom Temple, controlled by Regen Nebula. They're going to take out the remainder of this bottom fort wall. Sheeves in the area. As bottom Temple is taken. Falstad up in the top lane is going to get a little bit of push onto the top fort, which is already damaged. Regen Nebula remaining in the area before breaking off here. See Styx is starting up that camp again. Arco thinking about doing the same thing here on the right, but it looks like Frogurt and Rackham going to lock up that top bruiser camp here for CM Beyond first. Boss is in play. You probably won't see much of a play onto that before there's a significant kill advantage. Right now, Regen Nebula slightly ahead in experience, have their level 13s just a little bit early, but won't be able to take a fight off of that, or they might be able to get something in the mid here. Maxilla is pushed. There is the barrel roll. Murda just a tad early there on the bump back. Falstad able to roll back to safety. Bottom lane Lava Wave coming on through here for CM Beyond. As we see them trying to control vision here on the left-hand side. Arco moving up there. Styxa bails on out. Falstad, another barrel roll in the mid to avoid the ETC engage. Dahaka could join to make this a global. Falstad is still in the mid. There's the slide on through. Polymorph lands, as now Arco is forced to reposition. Rackham with a nice blink heal to try to move away. First bullet lands on second blink heal and a great gust. Unfortunately, the mind control comes out as well, but everyone's life is preserved there. Good disengage from CM Beyond. Up in the top lane, Yotaro and Frogurt continue to duel it out here. Dahaka got to be a little bit careful, taking a lot of shots, trying to get this last hit onto Ragnaros. Frogurt in some trouble, is actually going to get the kill. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, the fight going down there as Ragnaros turning it around, but Regen Nebula picked up 2 kills in the mid, and now they're going for the boss. Should be a pretty simple take here. There we go. Falstad trying to pick up a couple of shots here in the bottom lane. Could be, we'll see if Maxilla has the fly to get on out of here. It's just going to go ahead and hearth back to safety. Murdoch is going to get the slide here onto Arco. Varian pushed back, is going to be repositioned there once again. Cursed Bullet lands, but Varian starting to move away. Great drag from Yotaru, is going to find Brightwing, and that is another kill for Regen Nebula. The slow's coming out onto Varian. Can Arco get away here? Big leaping strike from Stixa, but is going to get caught by the mind control. Varian goes down nonetheless, and Lunara able to live to tell the tale. Regen Nebula now 8 kills to 4. Doing a great job finding these picks, and now they are ahead almost a level with their level 16 advantage. Maxilla going to try to hearth back to safety. Sheaves in the area. Oh, barrel roll is committed. Nice job by Maxilla, making sure that came out in time. Lava Wave going to the mid lane here. As we see Dahaka, Yotaru taking a couple of hits here. Has to watch out. But does manage to get the last of those shots. Regen Nebula doing a great job here in the mid game. They've got the structure advantage, they've got the experience advantage, and this is a tough spot on Sky Temple. CM Beyond, they don't have a lot of opportunities to find things on the map to do to help them regain map control. They kind of have to go and force a fight, and that will almost certainly be on Regen Nebula's terms. We see Arco moving across here, looking for anyone on a rotation. Clouded Minds Beyond would love to find themselves some catch-up experience before level 20 lands. Next play coming on out is going to be the Siege Camp on the right. Here comes the Lunara Wisp, going to be quickly dealt with. There's Regen Nebula camping in the mid for now, but do start to move away. Dahaka in the top lane, getting some lane push here, forcing a response coming out from Ragnaros. That's going to allow Regen Nebula to step up on the bottom lane and get this camp cleared out. Taking mid vision now. And the back bruiser camp is Clouded Minds Beyond. Regen Nebula moving up to the mid here. They don't really have much incentive to go fight. They're just going to clear the waves, keep the map control as best they can. Clouded Minds Beyond is going to go ahead and pick up this top structure for free, though, which is going to catch them up on their push towards objective priority. Just a breath onto mid will take it down as well. We'll see if anyone has the opportunity to do so for CM Beyond. But our next top temple is activating here. See what Regen Nebula chooses to do. They're going to go ahead and take their bruiser camp here in the top lane. I would love to see a little bit of a split push here. Looks like they are going to move up. They're going to get this top lane cleared away. Arco going to get the charge taunt out onto Murda. Mind control lands as well as the polymorph. ETC barely able to move away as Maxilla came on up. Rackham getting out of trouble there as the drag from Yotaru did land. A couple of ults are already down here on the side of CM Beyond. They're going to have to catch someone unawares, but right now Regen Nebula are just sitting inside that spell field. Murda wanting a slide. Nice unstoppable, though, from Sylvanas. Mischief able to get away. We're going to see a Mosh that barely lands onto 2. Great positioning there. Varian and Falstad both going to fall. Now Regen Nebula, they've got a little shred of this camp left, but with the double kill, they're going to be able to move on up and really punish off those kills. Mischief with that short cooldown mind control, just fishing there, did find a Murda, but no extra damage to be found. See if Ragnaros is going to end up trying to assume this structure. Not sure what the cooldown is there. We see the 48 seconds on Lava Wave. Top keep is going to be the first keep to fall of the game here. Level 20s here as well. Is Murda going to get a huge slide onto 2? Frogert and Rackham in big trouble as Ragnaros goes down. Great pick there, but with Varian and Falstad about to come up, they don't try to push their luck onto the core. We'll see if they can pick themselves up another keep in the mid, though. Falstad poking on in there. But with Ragnaros down, it is a 4-player defense. There's a slide coming out from Arco. Nice gust away as the mind control bringing Murda back in. Regen Nebula. Gonna try to reset themselves here. Mid keep is still standing. 15 seconds on Ragnaros. Let's see if they go back in. Murda wants a slide. They're gonna find Arco once again here. Curse Bullet lands. There's a drag. What a combo. Varian goes down. Big triple silence coming on out from Dahaka as Yotaru chases on forward. And now mid keep will absolutely be falling here. Lava Wave in the mid to try to stop the push will only reduce the minion control here. Now Regen Nebula absolutely in the driver's seat. They could go for this camp. They could go for a boss. Falstad with the gust is still a problem. It is on a 12-second cooldown right now. It looks like CM Beyond are not going to be able to come on down here and deal with it. We're going to have possibly a triple camp situation. We'll see if Regen Nebula wants to try to stack that on, or if they're just happy with the boss push here. They are going to move back and get this camp going. Unfortunately, in reverse order than what you'd like, but, you know, 3 camps is better than no camps. We do have a temple coming up in the mid here, and in the bottom lane. Dahaka, tending to the lanes a little bit, has the global to join if necessary. Lava Wave comes out in the bottom lane to try to help clear this boss out. Boss is going to be cleared pretty much for free here. Regen Nebula is choosing to head on back and try to get their checkmate going with this double temple phase. Dahaka will be able to global on in here. CM Beyond basically has to charge headlong into this fight because they have no time to do anything else. They're going to scout the mid here. Arco looking for Murda. Nice knockback and slide away. This is a good idea here from Regen Nebula. They do not have to take a fight. Every trade on objective is in their favor now. See Arco coming up, Murda thinking about a slide in the mid, but Dahaka getting the last couple shots here in the mid of the core goes down past 50%. Yotaru a little bit low as the taunt comes out. Arco wanting an engage. Mind control lands onto Kurama. It is going to be Stukov going down here. Great mosh onto 4 from Murda. It's going to be Varian to fall first. Rackham in trouble, gets hit with a leaping strike. Brightwing goes down. Core sitting at 14%, but there goes Lunara. It's a 2 for 2 here so far. Yotaru is seen there by Ragnaros. Murda trying to zone away here as Maxilla wanting the last hits. Murda is trying to get out. Yotaru is digging. Yotaru gets away. And 14% on the core. Dahaka is trying to get the last couple shots, but the shield has come up too much. Yotaru trying to dive away, but Dahaka is going to fall. Cheeky play didn't quite work out there. Only needed a couple more seconds, but nice job by CM Beyond seeing the play of Regen Nebula there in the bottom lane. CM Beyond gonna try to use the black arrows here to step up and create a win condition. This is a strong play from them. Brightwing can come and join now. We're going to see Brightwing coming on through. Big wind tunnel comes on out. Bottom keep goes down. And now CM Beyond, despite this crucial position they're in, have a win condition now. Top lane is collapsing, though. We've got 4 catapults that are going to be quickly cleared away there by Ragnaros. Mischief heading on back as well as the Bruiser camp is still rolling in. Boss a little under 2 minutes left on that timer. CM Beyond have to win a decisive fight before the next objective phase. One of these temples will be enough. It looks like it's going to be mid and top that are coming on through next. Bruiser camp going to help the mid here. Regen Nebula trying to hang on. Could go for a core rush in the bottom lane. They've got the siege potential to do so. You see them starting to move across the jungle here. Lunara steps up to try to clear out this bottom lane, and the temple phase is now active. What will the choice be? CM Beyond are searching, trying to watch this bottom side as Regen Nebula doubles on up to the top side. Murda is going to move away. It looks like it's going to be the top side clear here for Regen Nebula. This is tense. This is tense. CM Beyond, they're starting to get them trapped. They're trying to trap Regen Nebula on a part of the map here as the temple phase is now active. Regen Nebula doubling back to the mid lane here. Maxilla in a position. Yotaru coming across as well. CM Beyond, they're coming on down. Brightwing can join. This is going to be a fight. Murda steps up. This is going to be it. Arco is caught, but Brightwing coming on through. Big slide as well, and Varian and Brightwing are both destroyed. Frogert in the backline trying to turn it around onto Stixa, but there is the leaping strike. Sylvanas being chased down by Tasheeves. Frogert chasing Lunara on the bottom side. Greymane in trouble on the top side, but Regen Nebula manages to stay alive here. And they manage to get back onto the point. That is going to be game number 1. Going over to Regen Nebula. Very, very close finish there as Clouded Minds Beyond came storming back in the late game there. They needed that one fight, but Regen Nebula gets the drop on them, forces them off the point, and grabs the shots to end the game. Very exciting Sky Temple. Let's go over to post-match. See what the stats do show us. Sheeves on the Greymane, top in all categories there. Top siege, top hero damage, and top experience soaked. Over on the side of Regen Nebula. Over for CM Beyond, it was Mischief on the Sylvanas with the top hero damage there. 44,000. And of course, Ragnaros. 200, nearly 245,000 siege damage. Just lava wave things. Just lava wave things. Bring up the talent screen as we close out our prediction. Let's update the scoreboard and we'll get ourselves ready for game number 2. Get ready for game number 2. Alrighty. Very, very close game there. Very close game. Clouded Minds Beyond. They created the last opportunity that they needed to create. Almost had it. We'll see if they can get it on the next one here. We do have a lobby that's coming up. Let's update software. Let's see who chose it. Looks like... There we go. Awesome, awesome. Where are we going? We are going to Battlefield of Eternity. Once again chosen by Clouded Minds Beyond. Gonna try to end it here. Oh wait, no. They switched it! It was chosen by Regen Nebula. I was wrong. They had it as Team 1. They switched it to Team 2 for first pick. Regen Nebula choosing to bring us to Battlefield of Eternity, which means Clouded Minds did opt for first pick. Star Knight wants some curls. You can do curls. There you go. 10 curls. 10 curls. Just like the 10 players we now have in our lobby. I'll let them know I'm ready to go, and we will get ready for game number 2 here. Excellent, excellent stuff. 10 shoulder press. Do we have time? They're about to start the draft. I'm going to do 10 shoulder press right after this draft. How about that? I don't want to cut into the draft. I don't want to cut into the draft. We'll do it right back. Right after it. Alrighty. This time it will be Clouded Minds Beyond with the first pick opportunity. See if there's any changes, any change of choices. As they ponder their first ban. Battlefield of Eternity, a map where there is definitely a change in priorities for heroes. You got to think about your PvE damage. It's not terribly different from Sky Temple in that way. But the heroes that get it done are a little bit different here. We are going to see CM Beyond ban away the Li Ming once again. They did on the last map as well. Not sure if that's a Stixa or a Sheeves special, but it will not be played today. At least for this game. Regen Nebula. I imagine we're going to see the Rhaegar ban again. I see no reason not to bring that out. Let's start off with a Stukov ban. Stukov removed by Regen Nebula. Stukov's immortal damage, not too shabby. And of course, getting the Silence Zone in those corridors of entry can be pretty brutal. CM Beyond considering their second midway ban here. We'll see if there's anything they want to target out. They are going to remove the Brightwing. So not wanting to play that themselves here. Another healer ban. So will Regen Nebula go with a Rhaegar ban, a Johanna ban, or something entirely different? See what they want to leave on the table. Got to think about stuff like Vala. You got to think about stuff like Lunara. Which one are you least worried about? We're going to get rid of the Johanna. So, CM Beyond, they've got options. They've got opportunities. But it's going to be the Rhaegar here for Rackham. See if Regen Nebula is going to go back to that Lunara that we saw Stixa play. Could even go back to the Greymane from Sheeves. Both of those pretty decent here. Even Dahaka. You think about a two-lane map, but Dahaka's movement here on Battlefield of Eternity is very, very nice. Gonna go with the Greymane here from Sheeves. And Murda gonna go ahead and snipe away that Varian. Messing with CM Beyond's draft a little bit. See what CM Beyond wants to pick up. No priority on Davala so far. Still an option. Sylvanas also fine here. If Mischief wants to grab that again. Mischief instead going to go for the Junkrat. And Arco going for a Mei. Our first Mei of the day. Junkrat, we were talking about, you know, controlling spaces. Junkrat very good at that, and Mei very good at that as well. So looking like a solid defensive setup so far here from Clouded Minds Beyond. Regen Nebula, once again, say no Gazlowe today. Clouded Minds Beyond, they're looking at Greymane Varian. You gotta think about what healer enables that sort of charge. Anduin would be a good one. Even Deckard could work. I feel like Anduin is the biggest healer remaining that could enable that. I'm going to get rid of the Lucio, though. I mean, just being generally faster all the time is pretty good. That's a pretty good thing to have. Regen Nebula, thinking about their next two picks here. They don't have access to the Stukov. They do have access to Dahaka Lunara if they just want to run it back. They're going to switch things up. Kurama going to go with a Tyrande pick here, and Yotaru is moving to the Sonya. Looking like a very pick 'em, blow 'em up setup here from Regen Nebula. Varian with the taunt, Tyrande with a follow-up stun. Sonya Greymane leap on a target. Maxilla and Frogger going to respond here with Hanzo and Artanis. Artanis, the best hero in the game, now CM Beyond, is going to win entirely. Because Artanis is the best hero. If they charge onto Artanis, he just swaps him and becomes unstoppable. Easiest play ever. Now you might be thinking, Crush, are you being sarcastic? Absolutely not. I love Artanis. He's my favorite hero, and people need to play him more. More Artanis, please. Please, 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 more Artanis. Okay, we've got a second. We owe some shoulder press. Let's get into it.
To lunge position. Remember your heel, your knee, and your shoulders are in the same alignment. And you're gonna press your hip down gently. Ready, go. On 1, 2, 3, 4. Stretch back. 2, 3. 4 again and press. 2, 3, 4. Stretch back. Take your chest forward. Again. On 1, 2, 3, 4.
Alrighty. Did that for Nullius. Prediction is up once again. If you want to put your bets in, Regen Nebula versus CM Beyond game number 2. How you doing, IceX? I will go on about Artanis all ding-dang day long. You understand? That's how it's going to be on this channel. More Artanis. We do get ourselves an Artanis game. Looks like they're ready to go. So let's load in. Alrighty. Here we are. It's game number 2. On the left in the blue, we have Regen Nebula. She's on the Greymane. Murda playing Varian. Kurama on the Tyrande. Yotaru is playing the Sonya. And we have Stixa on the Kael'thas. On the right in the red, we have Clouded Minds Beyond. Frogger on the Artanis. Maxilla playing Hanzo. Rackham on Rhaegar. Arco is on the Mei. And Mischief playing Junkrat. Here we go. It's game number 2. Get your bets in. Now is the time. Looks like we've got a top lane pressure possibly here from Regen Nebula. Looking for a possible pick here, but Frogger staying safe behind the gate for now. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, CM Beyond wondering where anybody is. Stay on that mount, Frogger. Stay on that mount. You don't see anybody yet. Gotta stay. Yotaru gonna step into lane here. The rest of Regen Nebula are gonna bail away. Good restraint coming on out from Frogger in the top lane. The rest of the crew gonna see the rotation on down here, and Artanis can finally play the video game. Speaking of Artanis playing the video game, amateur opponent is the correct talent choice. No stacks, never the stacks. Okay, sometimes the stacks, but nearly never the stacks. There's a huge bomb spread coming out, but Kael'thas is caught regardless. Mischief and Maxilla low, but able to get away there. So First Blood does go over to CM Beyond. Checking on our perfect matchup, Artanis. Frogger keeping that wave close. Keeping it close. That's what you gotta do. You bait him in. Get a little swipe. You love to see it. You're doing great, Frogger. Meanwhile, CM Beyond, the rest of the team thinking about a raw take of the bottom camp here. Arco gonna watch this rotation come on through. They're trying to take advantage of Varian's pre-4 weakness, but look at this. Arco in some trouble. Manages to avoid the stun and glides back on out of there. Ooh, that took a lot of damage, and Mei does survive. We all know where the real action is, right? We all know where the real action is. We're going to see a swap coming on out from Frogger. Yotaru taking a couple of shots there. But Sonya's having a pretty good lane up here. Yotaru doing a great job on the Sonya. I don't want to show an overwhelming amount of favoritism. I promise it's not player or team-based. I'm just an Artanis fan. That's all I am. We are at the 2-minute 30 mark, so we are going to see our teams break on out and get their shaman camps going. Make sure those are pushing during the objective here. Mischief getting that started as Tyrande sends an owl over just to say, hey, Rackham, you're going to need to cast Chain Heal at least one more time. And there it is. The Hey I See You owl is my favorite owl. Because you know that's where they are. I mean, I guess it's possible they weren't there, and it's like, I guess, are they invading? The 1% chance that you get an invade on the first Shaman camp of the game. We're seeing a very quick start here from Regen Nebula. CM Beyond dealing with the bottom lane first. So they're going to take an entire half health bar. We'll see if they press on forward for the defense. It looks like Arco is trying to set up here for defense. Frogert on the right-hand side is going to start the clock here, as it were. And this feels like the right position for this CM Beyond comp. Between the Junkrat and the Mei, their positional advantage is very good. Frogert on the backside, getting close, but still a ways to go here. As there's the stun coming out onto Yotaru, trying to spin on through. Maxilla jumping back over the wall here. Rackham in some trouble, starting to move away as those bombs are spreading out in the back line. Frogert is getting the objective down on the right-hand side, but the poke from the side of Regen Nebula is very strong, and Mei is going to be the next to go down here. Big taunt comes out into Rhaegar. Rackham trying to move on back him, and does survive. Regen Nebula managing to beat the clock. That's going to be about a 3,800 health shield on their objective as it moves down the bottom lane. Junkrat barely got out of trouble there as well. So I think like 98 health on that health bar, which for Junkrat is like half health. Styx is stepping up there, getting a couple of bombs out onto the wall. I think some decent spread as Arco gets hit with the stun there. Junkrat, pretty solid on the defense. You see those concussion mines coming on out there, threatening the positioning. Regen Nebula, ever charging forward, trying to get this bottom fort to fall. Maxilla able to get over the wall there as the objective is cleared away. Bottom fort going down to about half health there. Up in the top lane, Sonya and Artanis continue to battle away. As now the bottom siege camp is the next thing to worry about. Murda going to get the quick taunt coming out there. Tyrande with the follow-up. Sheeves is in a little bit of trouble here, is very, very slowed and trying to move away from that totem. Rackham wanted to get in range for a bite, but didn't have the cooldown. Murda trying to move on back. Does so. Regen Nebula getting a little bit bullied down here in the bottom lane, and now CM Beyond are going to think about this bottom camp once again. Tyrande with the scout, but both damage dealers from Regen Beyond had to head on back to base. So bottom camp goes over to CM Beyond. Not too much going on up at the top lane, I must say. There hasn't been, aside from the very start of the game, hasn't really been a rotation up there from either team. Just letting the solo laners do their thing. Frogert just catching the wave. Yotaru just pushing the wave. Nice root bump onto Greymane there, coming on out from Mischief. The Styx have taken quite a bit of damage there. Bottom wall just being slow siege down here. Big taunt coming on out onto Rackham though. Rhaegar is caught too far forward and will fall as our next Immortal phase spawns on in. How you doing, Mrs. Wind-Up Bird? Gotta cheer for the homies. That's the way. Level 10s are about to be online here, as the Immortal phase is about to spawn on in. Looks like Regen Nebula are choosing to take their back Shaman camp first here. Getting that going as the Immortals are in defensive positions. Level 10s are about to be here. See if Regen Nebula is going to try to streak across and start a fight with those heroics online. Arco taking a hit there as the Phoenix is immediately popped there. Regen Nebula wanting to get a large head start on this objective, but CM Beyond, they're going to find 10s of their own. Yotaru in the back in a little bit of trouble. They get stunned, but manages to move away here. You see those heroics for... Oh, Frogger searching there for Styx out. Didn't quite get the angle. Regen Nebula have the shield wall, Starfall, Cursed Bullet, Phoenix, and Leap. Over on the side of CM Beyond, we're looking at the Ancestral Healing, Riptire, Suppression Pulse, Dragon Arrow, and Ice Wall. Artanis going to show in the bottom lane, clearing that away. So, yeah, showing on the top side to clear out the opposing Shaman camp. Arco? Ooh, Murda not going to go for it there. It is a 4-on-4 as Stixa eating a full scatter from this full scatter build Hanzo. Stixa in some trouble here. Arco was trying to move on in. Nice pushback, though, as Cryo Freeze is popped there. Artanis still showing on the bottom side here. Regen Nebula do have a brief player advantage. Leap comes out there. Nice Ice Wall follow-up is going to land onto 2, and Rhaegar still going to go down there. Yotaru in trouble is going to get counter-killed 1-for-1 so far. There's a Dragon Arrow. Huge stun onto 2 as Frogger trying to get the execute there. It's going to be Kael'thas going down, making it a 2-for-2 as Hanzo fell as well. Varian getting a little bit caught there as the objective is moved into halftime. Ooh, Mischief taking a big chunk of health there from that owl. Sonya is back, Rhaegar is back as the teams try to make it back to the battlefield here. Murda gonna get stunned there by the Blizzard as Frogger getting those auto attacks in. Gets a swap, now Varian in a little bit of trouble. Sheeves is forced to move away on the bottom side. Here comes Sonya, causing trouble on the point here. Stixa and Maxilla are now back as well. Teams back to full strength. But CM Beyond are going to hold the position for now as we see Regen Nebula going to tap and try to head right back into the action. Looking for a way in. Murda is going to get knocked away by the concussion mine. Artanis on the top side, once again, creating a timer here for CM Beyond. Sheeves is moved in and stunned. There's the Riptire coming on out, putting some damage into the backline. Maxilla healed up by the Ancestral Healing. Arco is being focused, though. Arco is down. Big Dragon Arrow connects as well as Murda in some huge trouble. Shield Wall comes on out to try to move away, but there goes Varian. Immortal Stun could land here. There goes Tyrande. Sheeves being chased down and is next to fall. 3-for-1 for the side of CM Beyond, but look at this. Regen Nebula, during all of that, managed to get enough damage out to pick up another very healthy Immortal that's going to be pushing the top lane. Ultimately, should just be a free clear here for CM Beyond. Excuse me. While they do that, let's get a little water. Delicious. CM Beyond going to clear this away before it does more than a couple of autos to the structure. Regen Nebula setting up for a possible gank on this camp. Murda, ooh, Murda shows. Maxilla still moving on in there. Mischief taunted on the low side, but there's a leap onto the top side. Oh no, miscommunication from the side of Regen Nebula, and everyone on the side of CM Beyond gets away. Unfortunate there. Almost had the drop on him. They're going to see if they can double back and pick up this camp, but Arco is here. See if CM Beyond can get the engage that they're looking for. Regen Nebula picks up the camp. It's a huge Ice Wall, though, is going to catch one. Murda coming around the outside. Dragon Arrow connects as well as Frogert hits the big suppression pulse in the back. Regen Nebula looking a little bit healthier here, but manages to move away. Will they get a re-engage? Murda wants it. Maxilla is slowed. See if they want to go for it. Looks like no. They're going to just move on down. Stressful back and forth there. As we see Frogert looking for something. Yotaru on the bottom side is going to get another camp going here for Regen Nebula. Murda trying to keep an eye on things. Trying to watch those rotations. As we see Shaman camp picked up early here by CM Beyond. Bottom camp going to be cleaned up here by Yotaru. Regen Nebula should have enough time to finish this off, as it looks like the Immortals are in defensive positions once again here. CM Beyond is going to take the opportunity to come on through and clear up this lane. Yotaru doing the same on the top side here, as we are indeed in defensive positions for these Immortals. Murda thinking about an engage there. Sheeves will back away. Yotaru trying to finish this up here. Got to kite it back to the structure as the middle groups continuing to be cautious. Maxilla going to go ahead and scout on in. keeping the poke up with that Stormbow. Sonya coming on down for the flank here. Artanis is not here yet as the taunt comes on out. Arco in some trouble. Oh, goes down before the Ancestral can land. A great Cryo Freeze to deny 2 stuns, but there's just too much damage coming on out from Regen Nebula, and Mei will fall. And now Objective Race is absolutely in the favor of Regen Nebula once again here. Artanis was still trying to clear that bottom lane camp, which had the timing advantage. And now it's going to be a very healthy objective here for Regen Nebula, as Mei is only coming out of the base now. There it is. And there it is. Top lane push is going to be what it is for Regen Nebula. They just need about another wave here, and they should have their 16s. Murder coming on the low side. Arco is going to spot it, though. The objective is going to start coming on through. Sfort's about to fall here. CM Beyond has got to watch their positioning as it does. 16 here for Regen Nebula is Frogurt. Ooh, Frogurt wanted it. Sheev starting to move on forward here, but the retreat is called by CM Beyond. We'll see if Regen Nebula can find themselves and engage under this keep. Frogurt wants a swap, can't quite get it onto Murda. Nice dodge there as the wall is being taken down. Oh, huge taunt in the mid though. Rackham in big trouble. That's going to be Rhaegar going down. The Riptide not going to dissuade the kill. Regen Nebula, they might be able to get a keep off of this here. Sheeves moves up here onto Arco. Suppression Pulse comes on out to blind the majority here. But the keep is now down to half. Big stun coming on out. Leap into the back here from Yotaro. Yotaro wants the kill onto Maxilla, but is in trouble. Mei is still going to go down. Yotaro going to get counter-killed, but the keep goes down. Objective is a hair's breadth from death. There it is. Regen Nebula at a 4-to-1 structure advantage here. Once again in the driver's seat as we go into the later game. CM Beyond have fought back from this spot before in game number 1. We'll see if they have what it takes to do it again here on Battlefield of Eternity. Regen Nebula sees the bottom camp has not been started yet. Mei is just now coming up, is on the way back. Sonya spawning in as well. It looks like CM Beyond are simply going to go double back and get their top lane cleared away. So, Regen Nebula going to pick themselves up another camp here. Shaman camps are coming up now. I honestly wouldn't mind an invade here from Regen Nebula. They're going to check this camp. They're going to see CM Beyond is in the top lane. Murda coming across is going to try to usher this camp forward. There's the check on the camp once again. Mei is spotted. Regen Nebula looks like they're not looking for a fight so much. It looks like they want to just play the objective here. The scout once again is going to catch 2. CM Beyond does get their shaman camp rolling. Sonya waiting on the top side to get that clear. CM Beyond does show on the bottom lane, so Sonya should feel pretty safe to try to clear this shaman camp away. Regen Nebula going to set up for a defense here on the top side. Murda sees Maxilla there, but the rest of the team not in the area. Wisely moves away. So now Regen Nebula, they've got the top lane clear, they've got the bottom lane pushing. Time is absolutely on their side here. Murda with a chance to reposition. Artanis going to show on the wave. Regen Nebula taking the opportunity to move on down. Nice trap from Junkrat. Yotaro wants a jump into the back. Yotaru's looking. Regen Nebula. Ice Wall. Oh, Ice Wall is going to catch Greymane. Can the rest of CM Beyond catch up here? Dragon Arrow comes out. Is going to catch only Kael'thas in the back line. Big trouble is Greymane, and Greymane is going to go down. Great turn there from CM Beyond. But now May in trouble. Arco gets stunned. The Ancestral does connect, though, and Kael'thas came too far. Arcane Barrier popped, but it's not going to be enough. Kael'thas goes down. Yotaru trying to move away here on the top side along with Murda. Looks like the remaining 3 members of Regen Nebula are able to move away. Catapults on the top side are starting to progress. We've got a catapult on the bottom side here. Regen Nebula trying to take the opportunity to step up and get a little bit of damage in here as the map is in their favor. Here we go. Catapults are starting to lock into the core. Junkrat gonna have to head on back and deal with this. Now in some trouble is Arco trying to move away. Frogurt gets caught on the retreat as well, and Regen Nebula, despite being only 3 on the map, are controlling the objective. CM Beyond gonna head on back here as they've cleaned up their core. Regen Nebula taking a little bit of a chunk out of the shield that they're ultimately going to have to defend. We're still gonna see nearly 22,000 health on the shield here for CM Beyond. It's a 19s for both sides. Junkrat showing on the top wave. Is going to have to come on down here. Looks like Artanis going to break off and deal with that constant catapult pressure. It can't be left alone for too long. Ice Wall comes on out, not going to catch anyone as Murda tries to get on through. Yotaru and Murda are both stunned there. Riptire comes on out as well. Great root follow-up. Murda trying to move away here. Big taunt into the back. Arco gets the big heal. Varian goes down, but the trade out for the Rhaegar. Now Yotaru in trouble, able to spin back to safety. All the while, Greymane has been working on the objective. Kael'thas bombs doing some work there as Frogurt wants a swap, is going to find it onto Stixa, but Hanzo is counter-killed. Yotaru picks up the kill. Not before getting destroyed themselves, though. 2 for 2 thus far, as the objective is stopped at the keep wall. 2 more catapults in the top lane stacked up here. This is starting to look an awful lot like last game. Clouded Minds Beyond are starting to make the map theirs again. They're starting to come back in this level 20 environment. Got to clear out the top lane. Catapults are starting to stack up. See Regen Nebula moving on down to the bottom lane to deal with the catapult in the camp. Varian back on the battlefield, Rhaegar back on the battlefield, Sonya and Hanzo are the next to come back up. Camp scouted there. Is Mischief once again just getting chunked. Poor Junkrat. Just can't catch a break here. Regen Nebula pick up their camp. We'll see if Mischief eats it again. Not quite. Murda looking for Frogurt on the top side here, though. Varian gets on the mount. Murda, is barely out of range. They wanted that taunt so close there. Bottom side is starting to stack up. We see CM Beyond coming on down here to try to clear that out. Regen Nebula clearing out the top shaman as the Immortals are getting ready to spawn on in. This is going to be a crucial phase as the Immortals yet again starting in left-right defensive positions. Catapult pressure in the top lane is the name of the game right now for Regen Nebula. They've got 1 in lane, they've got a 2nd on the way. CM Beyond either has to break off and deal with that or take a fight quickly. Sheaves on the low side remaining out of sight. CM Beyond, they've got to make a play. Top lane is starting to get cleared away. It's going to start to collapse onto the core. Regen Nebula biding their time. But the poke is starting to add up a little bit. But now the top wave's starting to collapse on the core. CM Beyond, they've got to do something. They've got to step up. They're just floating in space right now. They're trying to poke into the objective. Maxilla is going to be caught there. Cleanse comes on out, but Hanzo goes down. Regen Nebula pounces on the opportunity as Yotaru into the backline, looking for Rackham here. Rhaegar is forced to run away. Sonya wants the last hit. Oh, the spear lands before the Ancestral can hit once again. The core is starting to lose health here on the side of CM Beyond. 86% as the catapults are raining down the damage. Regen Nebula. Oh no, they're stopping at the objective. They're not going to go win the game immediately. Core is down to 50%. Oh, Regen Nebula, they don't see it. They're going to keep going with the objective here. Objective is going to be pushing the bottom lane if they do capture it quickly. We are in aggressive positions. They're going to get a mighty shield, but I can't help but thinking they could have just gone for the end right there. Objective will be claimed once again here by Regen Nebula. We'll be going down the bottom lane. We'll see if they want to push with or against in terms of the lanes. It looks like they're setting up to push with the objective. 2 catapults once again are stacked up in the top lane. That wave collapse is going to come on down probably roughly at the same time as our objective meets or passes the keep. This is going to have to be a miracle defense here for CM Beyond. They're setting up to try to clear this from afar. They've got the Cannonball Junkrat to start doing some work. Now the objective is shelling away at the keep. Top lane is starting to collapse on in. One more wave to go as bottom keep is going to fall. Regen Nebula gonna look for an opportunity, gonna look for an engage. Murda wants Rackham, is gonna find the charge taunt. There's the leap coming on out, and Rhaegar is deleted. The ice wall is not enough. Big combo coming on out from CM Beyond, though. Greymane barely able to get away. Karama in trouble. Tyrande goes down. Mischief is about to get popped in the back. Junkrat falls. But look at the core. The top wave collapse and the objective are too much. Regen Nebula is going to take the series in a 2-0 fashion. GG. Pretty similar pair of games there. Regen Nebula comes out the gate strong. They control the map, control the mid game. CM Beyond nearly finding their way back in both games there, but in the end, the pressure on the map was just too much to handle. Regen Nebula takes the 2-0. Let's go to the post-match. We'll see what the final stats tell us. Stixa on the Kael'thas. Top hero damage there. Over 88,500 hero damage. Over on the side of CM Beyond, Junkrat by Mischief. Nearly 81,000 hero damage there. Very high damage game. Very good matchup between these two teams. Let's close out the prediction. Update the scoreboard one last time, and we'll see if we can get ourselves an interview with Regen Nebula. Am I casting another game? Nope. This one is a best of 3. So this one will end 2-0 here for Regen Nebula. Alright, let's get in position here. See if we can get ourselves an interview with the winning team. The Sheaves, thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate the support. Congratulations on the victory.
Hey, Crush.
Hey, Murda, thank you very much for joining me. Congratulations on the win.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Really,
First
really
off,
nicely done
really
there.
appreciate you casting. Always a pleasure being on the Crushinators channel.
It was an awesome series. Very, very well played. Honestly, 2 maps that played out in a pretty similar fashion, but let's start out there on Sky Temple. Not a map that a lot of teams like to play, get to play. What would you say your team's comfort level was going into Sky Temple?
You're right. We weren't necessarily expecting Sky Temple to be picked. I'd say it caught us a little bit off guard that was their choice with the opening map. But we felt that we had a decent idea of what they wanted to do. I think maybe the one wild card going into tonight was their new offlane player that to our knowledge, hadn't played a match this season.
Oh, okay, so a little bit of a wild card coming on in there. Bringing the Ragnaros, if I do recall. But
Yeah, so there was some scrambling in the pregame lobby. We're like, wait, we haven't seen this guy in our scouting. I was like, let's check his profile, and I saw Gazlowe, and the other one was Ragnaros. So we had banned the Gazlowe. Actually, in both games we did. And then I was like, probably expect that Ragnaros, and then he did pick it. So we were thinking in the back of our heads during draft.
Came on through, did a good job of keeping CM Beyond in the game there. The control of the map was definitely on your side there, but CM Beyond started to pour it on in the end there. In the final moments of, we're coming up on a double temple phase, the enemy core's down to 14%. What are the comms like as you're moving around the map, and how are you identifying your ultimate win condition in that spot?
So we felt good. I mean, they were, I'd say, almost a checkmate situation. Half the team's like, we can just run it core. And I was like, we don't have to, right? So the key to our success there was just having the Dahaka. We run at 5 when we see both temples being occupied. We run as 5 towards one of them. Once they show off that one temple, all right, Dahaka burrow up and get us the win. That's pretty much all we had to do, is just wait and get them split.
Turns out, pretty good strategy there. You get a great slide, cup double kill, and manage to pick up the victory there on Sky Temple. Battlefield of Eternity played out in a fairly similar way. You had a lot of control in the mid game, great map pressure. I think you all but one objective you managed to win, even after going down in one of those team fights there. The first thing I noticed towards the end of the game there, you got the double kill and the minions were taking down the core. Did you see that the core was going down so low, or was it a choice to say, no, we're just going to go for the objective and take the sure victory that way?
Yeah, conscious decision there. We had the team saying, we can run a core. It's a common theme. And I said, we can, or, potential throw there for whatever X amount of reasons could happen. Like, this is just a surefire win. It's going to be a big, healthy, immortal late game. It's kind of impossible to lose if we get that. So, like, almost a similar situation in game 1 where we had him in a checkmate situation if we just play the objective.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about the comp you ran there on Battlefield of Eternity, coming out with the Tyrande, which doesn't come out all that often, but does have a little bit of special power on Battlefield of Eternity due to that armor shred. Is that something that you get to run on other maps, or would you say that's a little bit more of a Battlefield special?
Well, lucky for us, we have Karama on the team who does all the drafting, etc. But he's a really great healer. We love what he's able to do, and we feel we can put him on any healer and he'll be fine. In that situation, we knew we were a bit light on race, with just really the Greymane being our one hero that would be able to lead us towards getting that immortal down. So we knew we needed a little bit of extra help. The Hunter's Mark, of course, helps, but I think maybe the bigger thing, which is kind of hard to see on a cast, is how much information we were getting with that owl throughout the game. We never felt like we were under threat of being ganked because he's always putting in the right spots, showing us they're on their camp, and doing a huge job for us, just controlling the vision.
Vision, very important. Saw that those owls flying out, taking Junkrat down to half health every time. I kept watching, like, which is the one that's going to get the execute? Didn't quite come, but it was pretty close a couple of times there. But nice job today. Congratulations on the victory. That's puts you solidly, it looks like, tied for second near the top of this division. Looking forward a little bit to the playoffs, are there any teams that you're looking forward to facing once again, or any teams that you are looking forward to in the closing weeks of the regular season here?
Obligatory playoffs? We're talking about playoffs? No, seriously, I actually said this last week. We were casted by 2D. We have a big match against Brickhouse still on the schedule. A few others notable, like Phoenix Rising, Moonstone, we still haven't played. Later this week we're up against Breesta. Like, we have matches up, but those two big ones at the end of the season are going to make a big difference in how the 1 through 5 maybe turn out for this division. So we're staying focused. We're working one game at a time. We have 2 this week, like I said. So playoffs are not on our mind at all right now, Crush, and I sincerely mean that.
Makes sense, especially if you've got Brickhouse still on the block here, because now that ties you up in points, and if getting ahead in that matchup definitely will help in those in those standings. Well, fantastic. Murda, thank you so much for joining me. Any final shout outs you'd like to make before we close out here?
Again, shout out to you. Appreciate the cast. I'm sure it was fantastic as always. Want to say GG's to our good friends over at CM Beyond. They were a scrim partner in the preseason. We knew we were a flex opponent and wanted to get this one in earlier so we can get back to those scrims. So hopefully in the near future, we'll get to see you guys soon. We knew that variant was going to be contested tonight, and you saw it in the match. And final shout outs just to the whole Regen family and my team over with Regen Nebula. You guys are great, fantastic, and our coach Frosty for all the support we get. And that's it. Thank you so much for having me.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for coming on by. Congrats again on the victory, and good luck going forward in the season.
All right. We'll see you soon. Bye.
See ya.